Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today this Saturday. I'm Kimberly Bermel. To my left, we have executive producer of AM Tampa Bay, Ethan Euchre.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. And sitting next to me, we have co-host and senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
On this beautiful Saturday for a change. Gosh, is it nice out.
It's gorgeous out. Absolutely. And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thank you for spending this afternoon with us, Doctor.
Thank you.
He's excited to be here. He's deeply engrossed in that article that he's reading, I think, about Harry Reid. So
Yes, he's
sure
powering up for later.
Yeah, for our fourth and final segment of the show.
Now, I do apologize if anyone can hear my voice. I am under the weather, so you'll have to bear with me.
Yeah. What's going on with you?
I got the crud.
You got the crud, the funk?
She doesn't want to say what she was diagnosed with on the air.
Why?
It's the bubonic plague.
Oh.
You are in the Obama's crop.
Don't.
Jeff
Lysol.
Spraying Lysol over there. Have you been hanging around rats and fleas? That's how the plague is
No,
spread.
I try not to.
Well,
Thank
get away
you,
from
Jeff.
You knew exactly
She's
where
been
I was
sitting
going
next
with
to me
that.
for weeks.
Yeah, you're to blame.
All right.
Oh, boy.
We're going to go into some statistics again. Now, keep in mind, the Chiropractic Association says 31 million Americans experience low back pain at any given time, and more than 1 million Americans suffer from chronic pain, according to a report by the Institute of Medicine. So, hearing that, if I told you that there's no need to suffer and that there is hope, the Bonati Spine Institute features exclusive Bonati Spine procedures, and these exclusive procedures are often imitated by other facilities, but they're never duplicated. They never have the success. And so successful are the Bonati Spine procedures that they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. Our years of research actually indicate the true rate of patient satisfaction is actually at 98.75%.
That's amazing.
Now, with those sort of statistics, why would you want to deal with traditional invasive open back surgery? We've given you the statistics on that. The failure rate ranges between 1 and 3 procedures from 60% up to 85% and possibly around 90% failure. So you're talking almost a 99% success rate of the Bonati Spine procedures and that high of a failure rate somewhere else.
Well, that's why when you say that there's a lot of imitators out there,
Yes.
there absolutely are, and I'm sure the Bonati Spine Institute see a lot of those
On
come
a
through
daily
their
basis.
doors that they have to fix. It just reminds me of my father. He's a heating contractor, and he gets, no joke, probably half of his business fixing other people's mess ups. And
Yes.
he tells them, if you just called me in the first place, we wouldn't be here doing this because I'd do it right. And it's sort of the same thing with Dr. Bonati.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's that simple. For the weeks that we've been doing this show, we've talked to people from all walks of life. And the one thing that they share is that back, leg, and neck problems are keeping them from an active, fulfilling life. So to see so many different people have success, it's this simple. If you're experiencing back problems, if people have said, like some of the people that we've spoken to on the phone, patients, they've said, there's nothing we can do to help you. Call the Bonati Institute. Get your MRIs up there. Let Dr. Bonati help you.
Well, they always say, I mean, it's just common sense to get a second opinion anyway. So if you go to one person and they say, there's nothing we can do, you're going to be on pain pills the rest of your life, sorry for your luck. Well, don't buy that. Call Dr. Bonati, and a lot of people around the country have done that.
They certainly have.
And he's like, yeah, come on down, we'll fix you up. And,
Absolutely.
And he does so.
We've performed over 45,000 successful procedures exclusively at our location in Hudson, Florida. So if you're local to the area, US 19 Hudson Avenue, walk on in or give them a call at 855-267-0482. And it's important to remember that Dr. Bonati didn't use somebody else's procedures and tools, but instead he thought outside the typical textbook teachings that he learned in medical school, and he developed his own procedures and invented the tools to make it possible for these procedures to be so highly successful.
That's one of the true marks of his genius, in my opinion. And I'm
is.
not just saying it because the guy's sitting to my left and he's giving me that look like, No, but Dr. Bernardi is just, I mean, how many people do you know that in their line of work, we all run into problems every day and we work around them or we deal with them or we get frustrated? Dr. Bernardi just said, this
He
doesn't
solves
work.
them.
I'm going to figure out a way to fix this and I'm going to make it better. And that's exactly what he did.
And that's why I'm proud every single time we do this show and even the TV show to let people know what he's about and what he's done for medicine, because he's revolutionized spine surgery forever.
He gets so uncomfortable when we
He
lavish
does.
this praise on him. You can just see it in his face.
He's
But
a
it's
very
true.
humble man, will never pat himself on the back.
And that's another part of his appeal, if you ask me. You know, he could be the guy's so good. He's see what I mean?
We'll
He's
stop,
giving us the
Dr.
all right,
Bernardi.
hurry up. All right.
Okay.
We got Sheila on hold, by the way.
With that being said, we're going to turn now to patient Sheila Schmidt. She is 57 years old and she's from Indiana. Welcome to the show, Sheila. Thank you for taking part.
Hi.
And are you currently still in town?
Yes, I am.
You are. Okay. What is your background?
When I was small, I was about 2 years old, and I was in a crib, and one of my brothers fell in on me and injured my back. So I've had lifelong issues with my back. But as I've gotten older, they've become worse. I've had numbness and low back pain for most of my life. But then in the last year, it started to go into the sciatic and down to my knee. And then fall of last year, we moved. And, of course, with moving, I did a lot of things shouldn't have done. And it continued to get worse. And I was at the point where I could not function. I was on the verge of losing my livelihood. And decided it was time I needed to do something because I was getting sharp stabbing pains in my groin, and I knew that I was in trouble. And a friend of mine had been down here to Bernardi a couple years ago, and I had always decided I was not going to have traditional open back surgery with rods and nuts and bolts and hardware. And so I called and got the ball rolling and come down here, and the results have been marvelous.
Now,
greater than what I ever expected.
Sheila, can I ask you just a question, though? When you suffered in pain, more recently, how long were you in that pain? And did you try to seek any sort of resolution to pain prior to coming down to Dr. Bernardi and the Bernardi Spine Institute?
Yes. My primary physician is a osteopath.
Okay.
And he's manipulated my back for years to give me relief, but it got to the point that wasn't helping anymore. I was beyond manipulation and needed further intervention.
Well, here's my question, Sheila, listening to your story. So it's kind of amazing to me that it goes all the way back to when you were a child, and you said you had pain on and off throughout life. Why did you not... why did you wait so long, I should ask, to finally be rid of pain? What took you so long? It wasn't that bad that you could deal with it and you were so used to it that was your life?
Well, that was part of it, and I did not know and was not aware that there was another option out there. And when I heard about this, minimally invasive, and with the results that my friend had, it's like, this is where I need to come to get my life back.
Sheila, fast forward to when you came down to Hudson and you met with the Bernardi physicians and they were able to do an MRI. What did they tell you at that point?
Okay. They took MRI and x-rays, and we met with Dr. Grossmith, and he totally explained. He put the x-rays up there, showed where there was narrowing in my back that was causing the pain and the limitations on what I was able to do. And he explained how he would go in there and take care of that and the procedure that he would do, and that the relief that I should get. And basically, it was up to me as to whether I wanted to go forward with that or not. And there was never any question in my mind after him explaining everything that this is what I needed to do. This was not anything like an open back surgery. I mean, and the results have been wonderful.
Now, Sheila, let me rewind for a minute. You mentioned that it was affecting your job. What type of field did you work in?
I'm a nurse, and I do home care visits. So I was in and out of my vehicle, going up steps. It got to the point where I could only go up steps one at a time. And I had a limited gait I had to take shorter steps with my left leg because of the pain. When I was walking, I had a lot of trouble getting in and out of my vehicle. And I couldn't continue to do my job effectively being in that physical condition.
Did you have to lift anyone in your duties for your work?
Not in home care.
Not in home care, okay.
Right, when I worked in the hospital. I had worked in the hospital before I went to home care. But we do a lot of bending over patients, and that was getting horrendous. I mean, the pain of bending over and trying to take care of patients in their homes, just it was getting to the point I just couldn't do it.
Sheila, were a lot of these folks that you were taking care of were probably elderly in their homes, correct?
Yes.
We did a little research before we called you. We actually called one of the doctors that you worked with, and he was telling us that he used to tease you, that you kind of ran around looking like you were 90 years old, kind of, hunched over and moving slow. How you moving now?
Yeah. I'm moving great. I think I've gotten 20, 30 years back on my life. It's amazing. Come down here, hunched over and looking like that, and I'm sure I did. But he'll be surprised when I get back home and he sees that I'm back to what I used to be, where I can move and I can function, and I'm not in pain.
Well, Sheila, if you don't mind holding on just for a quick second, we want to just kind of dive in a little bit as to how your experience was at the Bonati Spine Institute. And again, Jeff kind of jumped into it a little bit, how you feel today. So if you don't mind, just hold on. And Kimberly, if other people are in pain, how do they get in touch?
Well, if you or someone you know is suffering in pain, give the Bonati Spine Institute a call at 855-267-0482 or visit the website at bonati.com. On the flip side of the break, we're going to hear more from Sheila Schmidt. You're listening to News Radio 970, WFLA.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, and we have with us Ethan Euchre.
Yes, I am here, I think.
Our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Present.
Better known as our co-host. And we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Now, before the break, we were speaking with Sheila Schmidt, and she's a patient at the Bonati Spine Institute. She was telling us that she has had back problems from the time she was a child up to current. Sheila, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell us from the time you walked through the door, what was the atmosphere like? We realize that when people go through the process, they're a little unnerved at first. How did you feel once you walked into the Bonati Spine Institute?
I felt comfortable from the moment I walked through the door. It was very clean, very professional, was greeted by a gentleman named Paul, directed us exactly where we needed to go. There was never any question about, okay, what am I supposed to do next? They kept us well informed on the going through the process. And everyone there is just very personable and caring, and you can tell for them it's just not a job. It's about helping people.
And Sheila, if people missed the previous segment where you sort of set up how you've had pain your entire life, as a child, your older brother fell on you, and you had pretty much pain your whole life. And I asked the question, why did you wait so long? And I think your answer was pretty much because you had it your whole life. You didn't really, that was your life. You had always had it that way.
Right.
So once you got to the Bonati Spine Institute and they looked at your MRI, I mean, how high were your hopes that you would end up pain-free when this was all said and done? Because it had been your life.
Very high hopes after he explained what they were going to do. And because of my medical background, I knew the results that I would get. It was like there wasn't any doubt in my mind that when this was over and done with, I would be pain-free and I would have my life back. I would probably have the fullest life that I've ever had.
That's amazing. So what exactly was wrong with you? Do you know? Was it a lumbar?
Yes, I had 2 herniated discs and 2 bulging discs in the lumbar on the left side. The area was narrowed, very narrow, to the point where that's where the pain down the leg and the stabbing pain in my groin was radiating from. And with the procedure that they used to open that up, that it could only end up with me being pain-free and able to function and not be limping around like a 90-year-old woman.
You know, Sheila touched on something that, quite frankly, we gloss over really quickly when we're talking to the patients. But so many times when you go through a medical procedure or you're sick or you have an accident, when you go through that, you don't know what's going on. There are questions. It's very difficult to navigate. But everyone we talk to says that they feel very comfortable. They really aren't left in the dark. They understand exactly what's going to happen. All their questions are answered. And we really haven't touched on that a lot, but I think that's really important. Sheila, I'm sure you're sure as someone in the medical profession, by understanding what was going to happen and having that explained to you, it had to make the whole process even that much more satisfactory.
It does. Because you're not left in the dark afraid of what's going to happen, because it's been explained to you what's going to happen and you know, how you can be helped. And you're right, you know, too many times It's explained to you, okay, this is what's wrong with you. This is what we're going to do. Sign the paper. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
But you're actively involved in making decisions about what's going to happen to you and the expected results. I think the results are even greater than we even imagined at the time.
Now, Sheila, let's just jump ahead to the present. You've had the procedures done. You were described. You're a nurse. You were described by a fellow doctor as walking around like a 90-year-old. How you walking around now? 95? Because it's been some time has passed, or much younger? How you feeling?
Oh, much younger, maybe like 30.
Oh, excellent. That's younger than me. Look at that.
How you doing?
So I'm assuming you would recommend Dr. Bonatti's Spine Institute to anyone that's experiencing pain, correct?
Most definitely, and I have a few people in mind, and I'm sure I know at home there's a lot of nurses waiting for me to get back and see the results.
Very cool. Well, Dr. Bonatti's here. Anything you want to say to him in closing, Sheila?
I appreciate that he's developed this and given people a choice other than a traditional open back surgery, and we need to get the word out.
We love you, Sheila. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. We appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Continued good health.
Travel safe. God bless you.
All right. Another successful story. I always love hearing those.
It is, and it never gets old. Just knowing that there's hope out there. Mm-hmm. That there is someone that can resolve the problem. If you need to, come to the Bonatti Spine Institute, 855-267-0482, or visit the website at Bonatti.com.
I always just see Jeff smirking over there, and I wonder what kind of hamster wheel is turning in there and what he's thinking about.
Well, we've been doing this show now for many, many weeks, and Dr. Bonatti has become a friend, and the one thing that I see is he is so humble and so shy and so...
Just a great demeanor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I can't help but to think when I actually had the chance to go to the Bonatti Institute and watch Dr. Bonatti and his team perform the Bonatti spine procedure, I cannot help but to think back when they had a chance to interact with the patient and he was able to get up and move, and he was an elderly man, and he was very excited that he wasn't experiencing pain in his legs.
I'm sure.
And the look on Dr. Bonatti's face as he turned away was kind of like, rock star, I'm done. You guys finish up here.
Like, drop the mic, I'm out.
Yeah, it was exactly like, I'm done. And just that look on his face has to be so fulfilling.
Yeah, no, the guy's amazing, and we'll never be able to get him to actually admit that he's amazing. So let's stop trying, but we can all admit that he truly is. And again, I know that if people are in pain, that this guy, he's a magician. He'll get it done for you. Do we have a new segment coming up later on in the show, right?
We do. It's called Barack's Crock. So we want to see what's simmering and what's stirring in that crock pot.
Indeed. And then coming up next, we have, I'm pretty excited about this one, and of course I misplaced my prep sheet, but it's Dr. Cynthia Green.
She is a memory, fitness, and brain health expert of Memory Arts LLC, and it provides memory fitness to training organizations and other individuals. There's a beautiful book that she wrote. We'll have more coming up after the break. You're listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
The Bonatti Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at Bonatti.com.
All my pain is gone, gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You are listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm the sick Kimberly Brumell, joined by Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute, Ethan Euchre, and Jeff Wagstaff. Before the break, we were speaking to a patient, and now we're going to talk about memory fitness and brain health expert, Dr. Cynthia Green, and she is going to speak more about memory fitness and brain health training.
Yeah, she's collaborated on what's being called the Ultimate Science-Based Guide to Keeping Your Mind and Memory Sharp, which I think we all could use a little sharpening of the old gray matter.
Yes.
It's the book is titled National Geographic's Your Best Brain Ever, and we're all trying to get one of those. Dr. Cynthia Green, welcome to American Medicine Today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on.
So tell us what the book's about.
So Your Best Brain Ever is a cutting-edge science overview of the brain science as we now know it. There have been tremendous advances in our understanding of the brain, both in terms of how it works, what happens with aging, what happens in injury, and very importantly, what we can do to take better care of our brains. And so Mike Sweeney, who's my co-author on the book, has done several brain books with National Geographic, and it reflects really what's going on scientifically and written in a way that's very easy to access and understand, really reflecting National Geographic's excellence in kind of sharing information with all of us. And so also we've added to that book activities. So there's 58 activities that people can use to make that science into something they can bring into their everyday life. So different kinds of actions, different kinds of activities and exercises that we can all do to better our brain health based on what we know scientifically.
Dr. Green, I had a little insomnia the other night and was flipping through the channels of the late night guys, and I saw somebody doing a bit on they were asking the audience and members of the cast what video game helps stimulate and
I bet I know.
helps stimulate brain power and helps you can help you lose weight, help you stop smoking. And it was a very common video game. Are you aware of that?
Pac-Man?
You should get more sleep.
I'm going to say Tetris.
It's the best thing for your brain.
Tetris.
But in terms of the information on video games, it's really interesting. One of the things that happens as we grow older is that we have changes in the kinds of skills that we use to stay sharp day to day. So things like attention, how quickly we process information, how nimble we are in our thinking, so how we multitask. And, of course, those all reflect on memory. So we may experience it as difficulty remembering a name or remembering where we put our sunglasses or our cell phone, when really it's because we're not able to hold our attention, think fast, and think flexibly, all which support memory and support our ability to learn things.
Dr. Green,
play those,
speaking of not being able to hold my attention, I want to know what the video game is.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
video
a
games,
lead up.
if you think about it, if you play them or you watch your kids play them, when you play those games, they're played against the clock. So anything you do against the clock forces you to pay attention, think quickly, and think flexibly, because you can't do well otherwise. And that's where the real benefit of those video games are, and where the real benefit of a lot of that brain fitness software is. So those games, when we play them across the board, all the research has shown that they benefit our skills. I don't know about sleep, though, because I do have to say that one of the things that, or weight loss, one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of in the literature, by the way, is that one of the things we can do best for weight loss is get sleep.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Well, I've also read that, a lot of weight gain, let alone weight loss, has to do with, how much you eat before you go to sleep and things like that. But as far as video games go, I know as a kid, they always say that when Nintendo first came out in the 80s, I was a kid in the 80s and I had a Nintendo, and the whole thing was, the big thing was hand-eye coordination, and the kids were going to be quicker than their predecessors because they had these games. And I mean, you look at kids now and how even from the 80s, it's jumped leaps and bounds in the technology that we have. And I've seen infants pick up iPads and phones, and they know how to do more than I do. So it almost seems like we're evolving. Either that or technology has propelled us to evolve brain-wise. Is that right, Dr. Green?
I think that in general, with maybe the exception of the Middle Ages, technology's never really rolled backwards, has it? So, people ask me often about those games, kind of the counter of that. So is it bad for our brains? And I would say no, that we have to learn how to control these technologies and make them work for us rather than let them take control over our time and our attention. But I think in general, in terms of reaction time and in terms of the accessibility to exercising those areas, there can really be great for brain health. But what most people don't think about is really the total picture of brain health. And really when we look at the science, we also need to consider engaging in ways that we know already are healthy, such as staying physically active and eating well and maintaining a healthy weight and dealing with stress. Those really matter to the long-term wellness of our brain. And in fact, if you look quantitatively at the science, probably one of the best things we can do is exercise. So, if we're sitting around playing video games all the time, we might not be doing that enough.
Got it.
You're saying exercising. I got you. Another question for you, as far as mental acuity, something that I have problems with is remembering names. Are there any tricks in the book about remembering? Because, I'm a radio producer. I meet a ton of people all the time. I know Kimberly works in marketing. She meets a ton of people. Jeff, and Dr. Bonati, I mean, God, that guy has treated so many patients. How do you have any mnemonic tricks or anything like that can help us remember people's names?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't like to call them tricks because that kind of puts them in a negative light in a way.
I like
tricks. So there's a lot of strategies we can use to train ourselves to remember things like names more effectively. One of the first things that we need to do is to kind of pay attention. So I would suggest to you that a lot of the reasons we forget something like a name is because we don't get it to begin with. We hear that name and we're thinking about a million different things. We're distracted by thinking about, for you, maybe the interview schedule, the timing. You're meeting more than 5 people at a time. You're thinking about how you really want to get out and get a cup of coffee before you go on to the next thing. So you're not really paying attention, and we don't get the name when we do that. So it's not a forgetting problem, it's a getting problem. And we can help ourselves get that better by using a strategy to give it meaning. So by repeating the name, by making a connection between the name and something that we already know. So, for example, Ethan, I might think of a famous Ethan like Ethan Allen. I might think of a cousin named Ethan or a childhood friend named Ethan as a way of connecting your name to something that I'm learning, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, something that I already know. So that's a connection. So there's lots of strategies like that, and yes, they're in the book.
Dr. Greenberg, I'm right in the middle of the demo.
You already forgot her name, you dumbass.
I'm right in the middle of that age. I just turned 51. Wow. I'm beginning to start to feel that, where I'm exercising and I'm trying to do things to stay healthy. But what are some specific things I can do to exercise my brain and keep my brain healthier?
So when we talk about taking care of our brain, and one of the things Your Best Brain Ever lays out really nicely is that it's really about engaging across multiple dimensions of wellness. It's not just about crossword puzzles. It's not just about video games. It's about staying physically healthy, staying intellectually engaged, and staying socially and emotionally engaged. So you probably at 51 do many things across the board. You probably already know if you don't do it. You need to exercise. You need to eat right. You need to keep a healthy weight. you probably do intellectually engaging things, right? So you probably have hobbies and, try to pursue different kinds of things like reading or hanging out with friends. So the trick is to look across what you're not doing. So many of us at our age, I'm close to your age, we don't do games against the clock, right? So we don't play the video games that the kids are playing, and we tend to, because they're harder for us, move away from those kinds of activities. And I'm not talking about meeting deadlines at work. That doesn't count. But the kinds of games where we have to really pay attention to do well, that really challenge those skills. And the research shows by challenging those skills, we can keep them sharper. And that's the kind of thing that many of us start to notice that we're losing in our 50s and 60s and 70s. So that's my first thing, would be to exercise those skills.
Cynthia, is that something by doing this that you kind of put off the progression of Alzheimer's?
So Alzheimer's is a disease. It's distinguished from normal aging, right? Mm-hmm. And so for people who have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, that's a different story.
Okay.
It's not really clear that there's anything that can successfully delay progression of Alzheimer's disease or arrest the course of the disease. There are medications that do the best job that we have, that's what we have out there right now that does the best job. There's some interesting smaller studies showing things like exercise might slow progression, but they're very small studies. So when it comes to normal aging and protecting our brain, certainly the lifestyle things that we're talking about in terms of exercise and diet, staying social, being intellectually engaged, those are the kinds of things that seem to slow the aging process and may protect our brains. What's interesting is those skills training, so the kind of timed activities that we're talking about or the video games, those really help us stay sharp day to day, but there's not much evidence that they would help us avoid developing a serious memory impairment. That seems to be more things like intellectual activities and social engagement.
Dr. Green, speaking of time, we're almost out of it. In 20 seconds or less, one thing that I have been interested in my mid-30s is learning a new language. Can you let us know, are there any tricks, well, you don't like that word, but are there any advice very quickly that you can give us in learning a new language later in life versus as a child?
It's harder to learn a new language later in life, but it's a great intellectual pursuit. My father's studying French right now. He's 78. Just keep at it. Practice, practice, practice. Immerse yourself and keep challenging your brain.
Perfect.
Great thing to do.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, Dr. Cynthia Green, memory, fitness, and brain health expert. The book is National Geographic's Your Best Brain Ever. Thanks for joining us on American Medicine Today, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Have a
Thanks
great
for
day.
being here.
Well, that's pretty interesting stuff. I know you got the book there, Kimberly.
I still want to know what the game was, though.
Tetris?
Bejeweled?
That's what I heard. It was Tetris.
Yeah.
Pole position? I don't.
Candy Crush? Farmville? Not so much.
What do they call it? Pong with Atari?
Yeah.
That was the original.
That's old school.
You're dating
Kimberly.
yourself,
You were
ma'am.
Nintendo. I was Atari.
Atari. Hey, I had ColecoVision. Come on.
Hey, now,
We're only
Donkey Kong would play on my Atari. We were that cool.
All right, almost out of time. What do we have coming up next?
Well, after the break, we're going to stir the pot and see what's happening in what we call Barack's Crock. You'll find out more after the break. You're listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone, gone, gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful. I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brummel.
You are listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brummel, joined by world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. To my side, I have Ethan Euchre joining us, as well as Jeff Wagstaff. Now, before we get into the fun stuff, there's a couple serious questions we want Dr. Bonati to answer. Some people from Louisville, Kentucky had watched our streaming live radio show.
And they wrote to tell how good I looked. Is that what it is?
They did.
They did.
They love the hairdo.
This is see.
Yes.
It needs to be cut already. I got it. Dr. Bonati wants me to cut it again into the mohawk just so he can make fun of me. Mike.
No, but they reached out to us at info@americanmedicinetoday.com, and also we have the phone line 727-495-5200.
But it is a legit serious question, so I don't mean to be lighthearted here.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Dr. Bonati, why are the options for treating back pain so endless and confusing?
Back pain is probably the Cinderella of problems in the history of medicine. Is very, very difficult to understand the not only the pathology, but at the same time the neurology in that area is confusing, including to doctors. So unless you are in the field for a long time and you really understand how this mechanism of the biomechanics of the spine work, you would not have the correct answers. So, and the other thing is the physicians, the medical profession lost control from the 50s till today, and a lot of paramedical groups they develop, and they become totally independent. For example, the physical therapy before was regulated and mandated by physicians and under the direction of physicians. Then suddenly they become independent and they start to treat people in their own way. They think some stretching exercises and things are the answers. So that's one problem. The chiropractors, they think any manipulation is going to be the correction for the problems. That's another answer. It's not also under control of the physician, is under control of the chiropractor physician. So whatever they do, remember that is sometimes the people say if you have a hammer, everything that's stuck up is a nail. So you start to use all the time that. Well, the problem here is every different type of a profession will try to treat the spine in a different way. The real truth is, in the procedure that we develop, we have one clear concept. When you hurt, what really hurts? The nerve. Mm-hmm. So the concept for us is extremely clear. You need to free the nerve from any type of a compression that the nerve has in their path. So, and we develop a procedure that creates that type of a result. So you start to see people that they get better and better because The only thing that we zero is in clean the path of the nerve so the nerve can perform normally again. It's so difficult to put that thing in the mind of people. And when and I'm talking about physicians, when you talk about open surgery, the procedure that has no common sense. So sometimes you see people that they are putting screws and plates in areas where the nerves are very tight, and you look and you say, how is possible that this physician, with all the training that he has and all the understanding that he has, doesn't understand that putting that pressure in that nerve that's already collapsing because of deformities on the canal is going to behave or is going to do better. Well, it's just lack of knowledge in the pathology what is creating the pain and how to correct it. And it's sad to see that is the major problem.
What is that?
Why are you smelling?
Sounds to me like Barack's cooking up something stinky in that crock pot of his.
I think so.
What's Barack cooking? What's in the crock, Dr. Bonati?
Well, I don't know what's in the crock.
Well,
we one of the things that we need to remember is the entitlement mentality of the country today. It's around 100 million people that they are relying on the governmental support. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine 100 million of Americans being supported? They are in the area of this type of support. It's around 75% of every hundred individuals that they work in today working. 75 of those individuals, they're practically being helped by government. So the problem that we see with this is not only the problem of trying to help people. The problem is you are trying to get people in a position that is no hope for them. If you really are an individual who wants to help people, you need to elevate these people to a level that can rely on themselves and they can produce for themselves. Mm-hmm. When you have from 100 workers, 75 workers that they are leaving with the support of the government, then these people don't really want to work. That is why today we need to start to look. The way that we need to vote for the near future is we need to think that the people needs to be independent so the future of the people can be elevated to the right level.
Absolutely.
Well said.
On that note, I just wanted to read something. Mm-hmm. This little piggy went to market and the market prices were up. He lost his job and had no money anymore. This little piggy stayed home, wouldn't work or stop looking. And this little piggy, the White House workers, well, they got to eat their roast beef. And this little piggy had none. No good food on the table, small Social Security. And this little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way home. Well, aren't we all in this together? Why is the White House never part of the we?
Well put. Well, and on that note, we are finished for this edition of American Medicine Today. Very quickly, Kimberly, if people want to get in touch, how do they do so?
They can give us a call at 855-267-0482 or visit the website at Bonati.com. Watch us on Saturday evening, 7 p.m. on WFTS, ABC 28. And you're listening to American Medicine Today, noon to 1 on News Radio 970, WFLA. We'll see you next week.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone, gone, gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.